The corridors of Station Arcadia were designed for efficiency, not clarity. Sleek steel walls, fluorescent panels, and directional holograms stretched endlessly in every direction. Humans and aliens alike bustled along, each absorbed in their own business, yet the place felt strangely intimate to me. I was alone, sitting at the observation deck, sipping synthetic coffee and reviewing my latest astrophysical calculations. Life aboard Arcadia was quiet most of the time, except for the occasional emergency or political envoy passing through. I liked it that way. Then she appeared. The doors slid open and in walked an alien figure I hadn't expected. She was tall, slender, with faintly iridescent skin that shimmered under the station lights. Her hair fell like silver threads around her shoulders. But what struck me immediately wasn't her appearance, it was her posture. She moved slowly, cautiously, as if each step were a challenge. Her left leg, encased in some kind of mechanical brace, supported her entire body with visible effort. The other leg was bare, muscular, but clearly compensating for the weakness of the disabled one. Her eyes, violet, luminous, intelligent, scanned the room nervously. I realized almost too late that she had entered the wrong room. This isn't, I started, but she cut me off with a strained, almost embarrassed smile. I think I took a wrong turn, she said in a soft voice that carried authority despite the gentleness of it. I raised a hand, a reflexive gesture. No, it's fine. Please, stay if you want. Her eyes widened in surprise. Most humans wouldn't be so nonchalant about an alien, especially a princess, entering their private quarters. You would let me stay? Yes. It's a free world, I said, trying not to sound awkward. She hesitated, then lowered herself onto the chair I indicated. The mechanical brace hissed softly as she shifted. I sat opposite her, unsure what to say next. Oh, Kilira, she finally said. Ethan, I replied and extended my hand. She glanced at it, then shook it delicately. And that was how it began. Chapter 2, Conversations Across Worlds. Over the next few hours we talked. She spoke about her people, the Aelirathi, a race of warriors and scholars who valued strength, intellect, and honor above all. She explained that her disability was the result of a battlefield accident, a rare misstep during a diplomatic escort mission that had left her permanently impaired. Most humans, she said, would have avoided her out of fear, ignorance, or politeness. But I hadn't. I had simply offered her a place to stay, nothing more. That is unusual for a human, she said softly. And you're unusual for an alien princess, I countered. She blinked at me. You have no idea how much that means, she admitted. The conversation shifted to other topics. Starship mechanics, station politics, and even human history. Despite her regal bearing, Kilira was surprisingly curious. She asked questions about Earth that I hadn't anticipated anyone in the galaxy would ask seriously. I always assumed humans were primitive, she said at one point. Depends on the humans you meet, I said. Some are brilliant. Some are reckless. Some are lucky enough to stumble across a disabled princess in the wrong room. She laughed quietly, a sound like wind over crystal. And in that moment I realized something remarkable. The initial awkwardness had transformed into genuine connection. Chapter 3, The Night of the Ambush. The station had become unusually quiet that evening, almost ominously so. I was reviewing some data when alarms blared. Security breach, the intercom announced. I froze. Kilira tensed as well. Before we could react further, masked figures stormed the observation deck. Their weapons hummed with deadly energy, and their intent was clear. They had come to capture or kill her. Stay behind me, I shouted instinctively, even though I had no combat training comparable to hers. Kilira's eyes narrowed. I can? No. Not this time, I interrupted. The attackers closed in. I grabbed a nearby rail and used it to hurl myself at the first assailant. I didn't know how I survived the encounter, but somehow sheer instinct and adrenaline carried me through. Kilira's mechanical brace allowed her to move faster than I expected. She struck with precision, taking down attackers methodically, even while I tried to cover her flank. Finally, the last intruder fell, incapacitated by a combination of human improvisation and Ailerothi combat skill. Kilira looked at me, her violet eyes wide. You fought alongside me? I did what I had to, I replied, my chest heaving. You could have been killed, she said softly. And yet I wasn't, I said. Because I had you to fight with. She blinked, and for the first time her regal mask of composure faltered. Chapter 4: Healing Wounds. After the ambush, we found ourselves alone in the medical bay. Kilira allowed me to help her remove her mechanical brace. I don't often let anyone do this, she admitted. I'm honored, I said, careful to sound confident. The brace hissed as I adjusted it, careful not to hurt her. She winced slightly, but her eyes remained on mine. You know, she said after a moment, humans rarely look beyond appearances. They see weakness, and they flee. I didn't, I said. I saw you. Not the brace, not the title, not the danger. Just you. Kilira's eyes softened, and a faint smile appeared. Perhaps I misjudged humans. Perhaps you are an exception. And in that moment, I realized that whatever distance her title and disability had created, it had vanished between us. Chapter 5: Trust and Confession. Over the next few days, Kilira and I spent more time together. We explored the station, discussed politics, and even shared meals. Other humans and aliens noticed our unusual companionship, but we paid them no mind. One evening, she turned to me as we watched the artificial sunset through the station's observation dome. Ethan, she began. Yes. You risked your life for me, she said quietly. Why? I hesitated. Because someone had to. And because I couldn't run. Not this time. Not from you. She froze. Her eyes widened, and for a long moment, neither of us spoke. Most humans, most people, would have fled, she whispered. I know, I said. But I didn't. And I don't regret it. She reached out, lightly touching my arm. The contact was electric, simple, yet profound. You are extraordinary, she said. And you, I replied softly, are breathtaking. Her lips curved into a smile, real, genuine, unguarded. Chapter 6: The Political Threat. The calm didn't last. News of the ambush spread quickly. Station Arcadia's council demanded that Kilira be placed under heavy guard. Some factions even considered evacuating her back to her home planet, citing dangerous human influence. Kilira refused. I am not a prisoner, she said, her tone firm. And neither is he. She looked at me. Stay by my side. I nodded. Together, we devised a plan to counter any political backlash. I provided logistical support, communication strategies, and even led negotiations with human and alien representatives. Her trust in me was clear. And my trust in her? Absolute. Chapter 7: The Rebel Strike. Despite our precautions, the station was attacked again. A rogue faction of mercenaries sought to kidnap Kilira for ransom. This time we were ready. I piloted an auxiliary craft to intercept, coordinating with Kilira's forces. She moved through the chaos with precision, issuing commands and taking down threats with lethal efficiency. At one point, a stray blast hit the railing I was clinging to, sending me spinning. Kilira reacted instantly, grabbing my arm and steadying me. Not today, she said. Her eyes glimmered with determination. Together, we turned the tide of the attack, neutralizing the mercenaries and securing the station. Chapter 8: The Moment of Truth. After the battle, we stood together on the observation deck, overlooking the city lights. You never ran from me, Kilira said softly. Even when I could have been a danger to you, even when others feared you would abandon me. I didn't run, I said, because I finally realized, there's nothing worth running from, not with you. Her violet eyes shimmered. And now, I said, stepping closer, I stay. Not because I have to. Not because I'm obligated. But because I want to. Because you matter, more than I can explain. For a moment she froze. Then slowly she reached out, taking my hand. You've made me believe in humans, she said, her voice trembling slightly. And, perhaps in myself too. I smiled. Then stay with me, I whispered. We'll face the galaxy together. Kilira's smile widened. And for the first time the princess allowed herself to be free, not just in body but in heart. As the lights of Station Arcadia flickered below us, two unlikely allies, and perhaps something more, stood together ready to face the stars. The end.